folks, so today is going to be my review of the Viseart or Viseart Dark Matte Palette. I've used this all throughout the week, creating 5 different looks using nothing but this palette. I didn't have to pull any additional eyeshadows to create 5 different looks. So today I want to talk about my pros and cons, price breakdown, and that sort of thing. I actually hadn't heard of this brand before until I watched a couple of videos of people using them, and it kind of piqued my interest. I really trust the opinion of Stephanie Nicole here on YouTube, and she mentioned that these are some of her favorite matte eyeshadows, so I kind of went to thinking like, okay, they gotta be good for a reason, because I pretty much agree with like 80% of what she has to say in terms of reviews, and so I really value and trust her opinion. So I started doing my own research, watching swatch videos, that kind of thing, and I realized that like this is definitely palettes that I want to try out at the very least, and definitely review, because it was something that I hadn't seen a whole lot of people using the actual palette. I've seen swatches, reviews, and people talking about them, but I haven't actually seen them in action, which is something that I definitely wanted to see more of. So I figured other people, including you guys, might want to see more of as well. So a little bit about this brand, because I didn't really know anything about them. They are a brand based out of France, I believe. Everything is made in France, which is kind of cool. I actually don't own too much makeup I don't think that I can name off the top of my head that's made in France, so that's kind of interesting. And it is also geared towards makeup professionals. So reading what it just says here, Viseart, I think it's Viseart. So it says here on the Sephora site, it's well known by professional makeup artists from French television and film. Viseart fuses quality with integrity and innovation. The brand's founders launched their high-performance line in order to create makeup formulas that harness the best of natural and organic resources with modern technology. This artisan heritage makeup brand was conceived out of a shared passion of healthy products that go back to the roots of beauty to naturally enhance the skin rather than aging the skin with harmful chemicals. So it also says here that these products are not tested on animals, contain organic ingredients, and they are free of silicone, petrochemicals, and mineral oil. However, I don't think that they're vegan, just because I was reading the back and it does say that it may contain carmine, which from what I understand is like beetle shells. Look it up, it's fucked, but I don't believe that that's vegan then. But they're organic and not tested on animals, so it's one of those things where if you care about your makeup being vegan, you might want to really research more into this, just because I'm not certain that it is. Yeah, double check that. So this is just what the packaging came in when I ordered it. It's just a simple, clean box. So I've been to a couple makeup shows that are geared more towards professionals, and that's what I feel like their packaging is. It's really simple, it's clean, there's no gimmick, you're not paying necessarily for like crazy packaging, but I find with this what you're paying for is the quality of the actual eyeshadows, which for me, that's what I'd rather do. I'd rather pay for good quality products, maybe not the best packaging, if it means that like the product itself is amazing. Don't get me wrong, there's times where I want to buy like pretty packaging just for shits because it's gorgeous, but you know, when it comes to professional makeup, it doesn't need all that glitz and stuff, at least in my opinion. Then on the back it says, the essential neutral matte eyeshadows, highly pigmented, smooth, and homogeneous texture, easy to blend, no fallout, and long stay, can be used with water to correct eyebrows. And then it has the ingredients on there, professional makeup, made in France. So that right there is a little bit about the brand itself. I didn't really know too much about them before I purchased them. They do have several of these palettes. I have 2 that I picked up that seem to be 2 of the more popular ones. This is the Neutral Matte palette, or the 01 palette, and it says that it's perfect for creating a no makeup look. This is the core natural palette featuring beige and brown tones that are ideal for shading, highlighting, and defining the eyes, brows, or facial contours. And then this guy, which you guys have seen me use for the last week, is the Dark Matte palette, which is described as dynamic, rich shades, add an extra depth of color to any eye look. The wines add definition to a smoky eye, while witch browns and orange deepen and golden champagne eye look. So that's kind of interesting. But as you guys saw, I used just this palette and nothing else to create looks this week, so it can be used for that as well. However, I really do think that this palette is designed to go well with other palettes. But, you know, that's not the challenge here, right? Let's talk a little bit about cost breakdown. These suckers are not cheap. They are $80 USD or $100 Canadian. Gotta love that. But yeah, so they're $100, equaling out to about $8.50 per eyeshadow, which is a lot. Like, that's a lot of money. But the size of these eyeshadows, surprisingly, are actually similar to the size of Makeup Forever. Ooh, the glare. It's actually the same size as Makeup Forever eyeshadows, so it leads me to believe that the pans are really deep. And trust me when you say that you don't need much when you dip your brush into it to make the color go really far. And so I have a feeling that like $100, these eyeshadows are gonna last me like a fucking lifetime. When is the last time that anyone, especially me, has gone through an eyeshadow? So, I mean, really. But yeah, so this is what the actual packaging looks like. It's very simple, says the details on the back, says that it's the dark matte palette. A lot of people say, oh, you know, the packaging is not necessarily the greatest. No, but I mean, it's simple, and it's like, it shows you exactly what you're grabbing. And really, when this is designed for professionals, they need to see what they're grabbing before you're digging through like everything in your kit. I actually really like acrylic packaging because it allows me to see, for example, this is one of my MAC palettes. It allows me to see exactly what is in there, and I can just grab it instead of opening up palettes to see what colors are in it, which is one of the reasons, again, why I started this series, was to go back and use the palettes that I've forgotten about, which a lot of the times are ones that have the lid closed and I forget what colors are even in there. So moving on to the actual quality of the eyeshadows, I do hope you guys watch at least one or two of the videos from the week before you maybe watch this review, just because you got to see how they applied on the skin. So when you dip your fingers in them, they do feel a little bit more dry than something than, say, a Makeup Forever eyeshadow. However, the pigmentation is just insane. And even in finger swatches, they're going to look softer than they do on the eye. When you use it with a brush, when you apply it, you can blend it out so easily, and they blend so seamlessly that you can easily build up color. And that's one thing that I really like for my matte eyeshadows. I like it when matte eyeshadows are able to blend out almost into nothing, but if you want to build the intensity of color, you can pack it on and you're going to get the exact same color that you get in the pan, and that's what these do. So basically, if you wanted to get the exact color of that bright orange, you could use a stiffer brush and pack it on, but if you wanted to blend that out almost into a yellow, you could use a fluffier brush and just lightly apply it. And so that's one thing I really like about these mattes, is that they're easy to work with. You can build them up to get the maximum of color, which every single color in here can be built up to get that color. They're so pigmented, but then also easy to blend. And that's a really rare combination with matte eyeshadows, and it's really, honestly, unlike anything that I've tried. And so I totally get it now when people say that these are the best matte eyeshadows like on the market, because I honestly truly believe that they are the best matte eyeshadows on the market that I've tried, at least. So please, if you have anything that you think is better than that, let me know, because these are officially like my favorites. So obviously at some point I will use the neutral matte palette here and really get to judge the lighter shades. Because the dark matte palette is all really rich colors, I really want to see how these colors will perform on the lid as well, to get sort of a knowledge like in general about how the entire brand works. Obviously these are just the matte shadows too. They do have shimmers, though I've heard not the best things about those, so I decided to skip those. But damn, these mattes are fucking amazing. Like, look at the color, like they're so cool. And I really feel like every color in this palette is unique. Like this olive green is, you guys know, is the first thing that I used that I'm like, I have to put this on my face. I've never seen a matte eyeshadow color quite like that, at least that well performing, as well as this orange and some of the other shades in here. They're just beautiful. So I can quickly see that like I will be purchasing more of these palettes. Now what I did when purchasing them, because they're so expensive, $100 is a lot of fucking money for an eyeshadow palette. Like that's one of the top like maximum amounts that I'm willing to pay for an eyeshadow palette. I'm not going to be buying the Natasha Denona palettes anytime soon. Like that I think is just like unreal for a makeup palette. I'm like, no thanks, I'm good, I got a mortgage to pay, like nope. So I did buy both of these during the Sephora sale where you save 20% off. Also, I've noticed a couple other online retailers that do have deals on these palettes as well, where you can get two for a cheaper price. So if you're really interested in these, be sure to check that out. So overall, really happy that I spent my money on these, because I would have been so pissed spending like $100 on an eyeshadow palette and hating it. Like, oh, they would have been immediately right back to Sephora. Like, trust me, just buy, bitch, give me my money back. Totally worth $100, which is just insane even saying it, but definitely something that I really love and enjoy. I want to say that I will be bringing this palette back when I decide to do a week using the Moon Dust palette. So I feel like I'm going to use both this palette as well as the neutral one alongside the Moon Dust palette, because this kind of needs other eyeshadows to really be able to use it. So next up in my week of palettes, I'm going to be doing the Lime Crime Venus 1. A lot of you guys asked for this when I first was sort of asking about palettes, and then I've obviously done the Venus 2, so everyone's like, where's the first one? So this obviously has quite a few red shades, so it's going to be an actual challenge for me to pull out different looks, just because there isn't a whole lot of variety of colors. So pray for me. It's gonna be a week of red, guys. It's gonna be a whole lot of like red smoky looks, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, I have blabbed on for like 21 minutes now about this palette, so fingers crossed I can edit this down to a reasonable time. But yeah, overall I really like this. There's a lot of fun to play with, a lot of different color combinations and different shades and stuff like that, and this excites me. So really, it takes a lot to have makeup excite me nowadays, so I'm loving this. So yeah, hopefully you guys like this review, and until my next video, I'll talk to all of you soon.